How we doing, guys? How we doing? Yes, people. You know, only just got back from a lovely break with the wife, as you've seen if you've watched the previous videos, and to say that I've got a little bit more footage that I'll be using. You land back in the country and the world changes again. You look through a couple of links, you get sent a couple of links, and all of a sudden, them little lines that disappeared when you were walking up the shore are now just starting to reappear. And you think, what's wrong with the world? What is wrong with the world? A big hello to everyone. Big hello to Great Brit. Also to Katie Jane Swallow. How you doing, girl? Oh, what? I'd like to give a big thank you before I do anything to Katie Jane Swallow and childrenmatter.news and all the brilliant work they do. They've got an event coming up, Uniting for the Children. It's an event which I know very little about, if I'm going to be totally honest with you, as I've only just got back. But I heard briefly Katie talking about it today, and I said I'd come along. So I will be covering that and probably speaking to Katie as well. So that's going to be happening. It's going to be on the 19th of September, 2020, Swinton Town Hall, Manchester, M27. And I can't see the bottom because this little banner's right in the bleeding way. So I'm sure someone could put the full postcode in the comment section. And if not, I'll be probably doing more of a feature on it nearer to the time. So nice one, Katie. Keep the hard work going. So I'm expecting another guest on here, Jason from the A-Team, who sent me a very, very interesting link as opposed to an event that happened yesterday. Is it? Yes. You know, my days are all over the place yesterday. Let me just show you something. This is where I was less than 24 hours ago. Okay. Do you see that? Do you see that? Sipping fucking beer beside that. That's what I was doing, taking photos, walking up and down. And now look, freaking world's burning. Honestly, all I can do is smile because it's just crazy. And I know you guys are, you must think the same as me. So without further ado, let's get on with this shit.
Humans are so stupid.
That's because their brains are analog instead of digital.
Oh, cheese and bread. I tell you. I wanted to be on the plane, and when we got off the plane, I felt like saying, you know, like we get at the bus stop, mate, just keep going, I'll take the next stop. I felt like saying that because I'd looked at a couple of headlines as we were waiting for transfers and stuff. And, you know, I was like, what? And the crazy stories, I actually sent links so I could actually do stories when I got back. And then this just supersedes it all. Supersedes it all. This was sent in by Jason, sent it me through WhatsApp. Who are the paramilitary style force marching in the streets? Anti-racism protesters wearing stab vests are branded terrifying by Nigel Farage as they demonstrate in Brixton, with one yelling, "Fuck the police," as she confronts officers. Here we go. So obviously, they've not been on a beach for a bleeding while, I'll tell you that. They won't be going on like that, would they? Former MEP Nigel Farage blasted today's African Emancipation Day march through London, describing the event. And who's this? Right, Jason, innit? You're supposed to be on the stream, mate. Hello, buddy, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'll be with you
Right, dude. Well, I'm actually live at the moment, so just I'll send you the link, and then you just jump in when you're ready. Yeah. No worries, mate. See you in a bit. All right. Bye. 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 Right. There's the man. He's on his way. He's just a little bit delayed, and while we're on it, I've already sent him the link, so all he's got to do is jump in when ready. Right. So. Former MEP Nigel Farage blasted today's African Emancipation Day in London, describing the event as divisive as protesters dressed in paramilitary style clothing. Hundreds of demonstrators brought Brixton to a halt as they marched through London. What, you know, so imagine how that looked. The coalition of action groups led by Gamze, whatever. We changed genocide, ecocide, the African Emancipation Day, reparations march committed. So, I mean, all that's very negative. All that's victimhood, isn't it? I mean, you're all living a good life, surely. For fuck's sake. Honestly, take me home. That's how I feel. What the hell? Oh, took a drastic action to make themselves heard in a bid of reparations from the UK government. So, shit a guaning, as we know, innit? So, hi all. Hi all. How you doing? Who's this? What? What's that got to do with anything? Right. Who's on? Hi all. Hi, Great Brit, if you're on. Don't know whether you're on, mate. BLM are cry bullies. Mate, well, yeah, you know what? But it's getting more and more hard-lined as it's going on, as we knew this would happen anyway. This is a far-left agenda that is now ravishing through. And it's got this Sasha Doodah getting all freaking black paramilitary all of a sudden back in and fucking advocating other organized groups. And these groups are not the friendliest. And it's almost like the NFAC UK style in their mode of thinking. The demands, I've not even read any, I've just seen a little bit of the article. Like I say, fucking hell, 24 hours. And it's like, so yeah, I don't know what, it's far left agenda, probably Soros, and many more organizations are funding it. The people at the top of this have shown the colours a while ago that they are Marxist trained, and the people, the foot soldiers, probably just underneath them, are all up for revolution and also with radical groups in terms of the way they want to go about it. So it's clear to see, as the nose on anyone's bleeding face, what this is all about. And this is not to now go against black people or white people. This is sitting in the middle. Maybe it's because of mixed race. Maybe it's because I've got common sense. I don't know. Maybe it's because I ain't got a problem with either side. And most people I encounter are pretty much the same way. And you know what I'm loving about this channel? This channel seems to be the same way, whereas people can come and go, I ain't got a problem against a Muslim. I ain't got a problem against a white person. I ain't got a problem against a black person. Now can we watch some good shit? Now can we listen to some good music? Now can we watch a decent stream where we can articulate through the negative that is happening with all of them? God damn it. Fucking Greek national. I'm telling you. And then I'm going to have to adopt all their shit that they've got going on. And all I want to do is just ride a jet ski 60 kilometers an hour along the fucking seabed. Not the seabed, but the top of the ocean. Oh, right. So I'm waiting for the man. Waiting for the man Jason to come in. Hello, guys. Yes, let's get a few comments rocking. I can't be on too long because, like I say, you know, just had to banish the wife upstairs. She's like, oh, right, as soon as you get back, red pill Phil. Red pill Phil. Right, see you later, red pill Phil. She's fucked off watching Casualty now on a phone. So it's like, I can't, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that all the way through, but it's going to happen for a bit. Yeah, mate, it will do. It will do. And thanks for the suggestion. I think I will actually buy one of them just to take me back whenever the times are bad, which is every fucking video, innit? Jesus Christ. Oh, Matty. Yes, dude. Exactly. Black and white get on fine in the majority of cases. This is yet another Joro say psyop to create division. It is. But it's rubbing off, innit? It's filling down now to generations far below us. When I was coming out saying grooming's bad, the younger generation were like, I thought that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm on my phone, I'm on this, you know, I want to jig it. Now all of a sudden they're coming out, rushing out to support Black Lives Matter. So it's superseded a generation because of the Marxist shit that's coming through. And I know you probably got a little bit of opposition with stand up to racism with the younger generation, but you haven't had such a younger generation as the Black Lives Matter. And probably following this as well, as you'll see with some stills that I've got up, it is sickening to watch the exploitation of the plantation mind that you start in a manifestation of the brain. And it's rubbing off. It's sad to see. And you're going to get a counter reaction to this. And you're going to get people in the middle going, why is the world full of shit? Which at this point, it'll be after this fucking stream. I'm telling you, feeling the stress coming through my body. Oh, paramilitary. I'm going to struggle with that word. I always roll my tongue wrong. Yes, Sean, wearing berets and saying family forever. Yes, this is the organisation. I suggest you check the definition family. There's nothing very, very family orientated about this organisation, right? Nothing very orientated. And I've got a video here that we can go into that will explain it a little bit more. However, I'm waiting for Jason from the A team. I've been navigating myself around the fucking Mediterranean. Yeah. I've had very little sleep, jet lagged because the 2 hours behind there. So I've had to do all that. I've gone out for a 10-mile ride today. I've stacked up the stream, got myself in a beautiful position, got myself showered down, ate my food. All the while, Jason, the brother of the brush, he's up there in Scotland. Don't know what he's doing. But yet, guess who's in place and guess who's not? So I'm just saying, the professionalism, you can see which one is expressing it and which one isn't. I haven't been to Brixton, my friend, and there's parts of it that would probably make me feel very cultural, very happy that the culture mix is there. There will be people that be very welcoming and very hospitable to whoever goes into Brixton. However, I've got to agree with other people's opinion that will say that it is one that is probably got lack of assimilation in there and is getting less of an assimilation by the day. There's probably a black militance that is growing at a rapid rate. Whether it is more in Brixton than in any other town and city across England, I can't say that. But predominantly, we've got to look at the riot that kicked off in Brixton because of a block party, bearing in mind that the black people were apparently going through a disproportionate amount of COVID. But yet, let's go and have a block party in the street. And then when the police come in the soft uniform to say, listen, let's not have it, riot ensues and all that damage is caused. And that would have had a negative hearts and minds effects. And then you've got this, that they run round like the NFAC did, but unarmed, but with stab vests on. So you can see how they took that idea of the paramilitary kind of ideology from that. The ideology was probably already there, but the visualization of it, with it being with the vest and the, you know, the black power, you can see. Now, that is no way to get race relations in a harmonious situation. And when you do consider that in reality, the oppression, the true racism that these paramilitary are going to promote as the reason for their own revolution was a long, long time ago. There's still elements of racism on both sides, but I do think in terms of race relations, where we are at now, without the spike of the left-wing agenda that is pumping media, music, in terms of the average individual has never been in a better place, although this is not helping, and this will be getting white people that'll be getting looked at, they'll be getting attacked, they'll be getting verbally abused, as well as physically abused, as well as black people. You know, this will rub off on me. I'll be walking down the street. Look at me, you know, a vest, black man, bald head, gold chain. Without someone actually knowing who I am, they'll have my cut or my jib and they'll be thinking I support all this. And that could have a negative effect on me. And this is where it goes, that I don't stand in any camp here. I'm a human being. Freaking human being. And I'm still waiting for Jason. Antifa and the far left have hijacked BLM for their own agenda, and let's hope and wake up to see they don't care about the movement or what it stands for, just to cause chaos. Grim Jono the Reaper, and a really freaky avatar. But yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't even know whether they've hijacked it. I would go further and say they set it up. They set it up, along with George Soros and many other organizations. The media have probably known the far politics within this from the beginning. Because if they're taking George Soros's money, they know exactly what he's all about. So if he's pumping money all over the place, oh, here we go. Here we go. No time like the present. It's all right. We'll sat here waiting, mate. It's all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me fine?
Mate, all good. How you doing?
Yeah. I'm on my phone. I'm not on the computer. The computer's having a hissy fit.
Oh, mate, don't worry about it. That is fine. As long as you're here, and thanks for your time, sir. How's life been over the past few days?
It's quite trying. I've damaged nerves in the back of my eye. Still missing a tooth. Till later on in August. Apart for that, Phil, life's grand. Oh, look. You know you've landed when you've got a mug that size, mate. Look.
Jumbo size, mate. You know, I think we might have to stop the streaming for a while with you and I, mate, because every time you come on the stream, you seem to do yourself an injury. So I'm dreading the next one.
I know. What can we do? What can we
do, mate? Right? I think someone said, I think it's Cater. Have you got any headphones, mate? Because you seem to have a little bit of a buzz on, like a little spike buzz that comes back every now and then. I don't know whether that's your speaker or whether it needs headphones. Have you got any handy by any chance?
I have. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
That's all good, mate. Right, I'll just mute him there to see what I'll go on in. I get it. Echo chamber much. Valley Vision, G Block. No, are you referring to this stream being an echo chamber? No, mate. All I'm doing is really being a free thinker. So this is not an echo chamber. This is someone that has lived through the society that you've lived through, probably had exactly the same experiences. That's if your avatar is true and you are a black individual. And now I am just expressing my own freedom of thought. It's called being a libertarian. It's not being left. It's not being right, because I don't subscribe or prescribe to any of it, my friend, at all. But what you'll find is I don't do negativeness that is projected, whether it be from white people, black people, Muslim, left, right, left of right, right of left, fucking up or down. It really doesn't bother me, sir. And when you find that you're in that position, you find when people say things like this, they're almost dispowered. They've lost it, because you can't fight someone that he's not got a foot in any of them echo chambers that you've said at all. This has been a 3-year journey of mine on this YouTube channel to discover why I was called a Nazi. Why I was called a Nazi. And then that followed on to why I was called an Uncle Tom, a coconut. And these are all words that are used from people that don't let other people express themselves in any way. So Veli Vision G Block. G Block refers to prison, doesn't it? So out the two of us, my friend, I would have thought that you're more negative in the way you project yourself than I am. So if you want to come in with a little bit more positive debate, that's fine. But if you're just going to come in, I get it, echo chamber much. Mate, this ain't no echo chamber, because what you'll find, I'll rinse out the worst in black society like I will rinse out the worst in white society. I don't give a fuck. So you can't hit that on me. So with that, I haven't got a mic, but I'm dropping the bottle. Do you get it? I'm dropping the bottle. And I dropped my bleeding headphones while I was on it. So don't do that, mate. Don't do that. Seriously. Yes, Great Brit. And thank you. I don't like doing that to people like that, but you can tell straight away now that he's coming with the pro-black agenda. And you know what, my friend? I don't know whether you can see. There's nothing more prouder of my heritage, of my Mende West African heritage, but I can call out negative shizzle no matter. And also at the same time, I'm uber proud of where my mother come from, which was England. I'm also proud of the area in which I was brought up in, which was a predominantly white area, at the same time experiencing a lot of racism. And probably, I don't know where you're from, but if you live in a predominantly black area, there's every chance that I experience more than you. And I am a product of the 70s because I'm 50 years of age. So I've seen this shit coming. And I've seen all the different lumps and bumps in the road. And I know that I can reach that flat line where I can get on with people, live with people, love people, no matter the demographic. And it's obvious, yes, Roxanne, it's obvious, my friend, that you cannot, or it seems that you're coming across on a little bit of a spiky tip. So just level yourself and watch the stream and see what we've got to chat about before you come in talking about echo chambers, because I don't do echo chambers. Fuck's sake. Sorry, Jason.
That's okay. Well said.
You
Well
talk,
said.
mate. I'm having a brew. Go on, mate.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Phil, I've got my headphones in. I don't know if that makes it any better.
It's a little better, mate. Fire away.
At the end of the day, you shouldn't have to explain yourself. You know, I don't think you, nor I, nor anybody in any of the groups that we're involved in perceive ourselves to be an echo chamber, because at the end of the day, we're all intelligent individuals with one voice, but equally a voice that simultaneously has all different aspects and all different views and topics, and we'll listen to every single one of them. Doesn't matter what demographic it comes from in society. The minute you start becoming blinkered, the minute you start trying to shut down people by saying that it's an echo chamber, no, you need to listen. You need to open up your eyes and ears and listen, because if you're willing to call out an echo chamber, then you're living in an echo chamber yourself. End of.
Well said, mate. Well said. Well, let's get straight to it, mate. Now you're here, because I wanted to save this video, and thanks again for sending the initial link, even though it's probably the worst link you could have sent me when I've only just got back and I was up all night watching this stuff. You know, reality bites, mate. Reality bites, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get on with this video. I'll just play this. This is from a BitChute channel. I'm not sure what channel it is, but I'll put it in and you can have a look at it for yourself. Just get rid of this comment. Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. That doesn't help if that's sat there, does it? Right, there we go. Okay, so let's get to this. This is a link that Jason had sent me. And see for yourself, this is the same subscribed people, FF Force, BLM. So these are now affiliated with BLM. So all those people that thought Black Lives Matter was the greatest idea, and yeah, I get what you mean, George Floyd, and it was horrible, and no one on this stream will disagree with the way George Floyd was killed and what the circumstances that surrounded it. So it's not a taking sides thing here, but you can see from that moment, which was a peace and love, let's hold your candles up and let's change the system, that it's now got into A-grade militancy, which is turning the other way. Now, that might be more relevant in America, but certainly it's not relevant in England, okay? And if you're talking about oppression in Brixton from a black position, then think about it from a position of a white person as well, and then wind your neck in, okay? Right, so here we go. Here's the video.
This country, in 15 or 20 years' time,
Can you hear it, Jason? Yeah?
No, it was coming through, then it just muted.
I think it actually... Yeah, it stops on it. Right, hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Right, okay. So let me stop the share. Just let me go back. And if you want to say something, mate, while I reload it up and see if it works again.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I actually saw this this march in an article.
Yeah.
Didn't know that it was happening, to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But in the article, it basically it talked about a black militia. Now, it's the first time that I've seen a black militia like that in the UK, especially all wearing body armor and army fatigues, and obviously with the localization on the front. It was akin to sort of what was going on in America. I'd read the article, and after reading the article, did a little bit of digging, and then found this video, which hopefully we can let people hear now.
Literally mad as a nation to be permitting the annual inflow of some 50,000 dependents, who are, for the most part, the material of the future growth of the immigrant-descended population. It is like watching a nation busily engaged in heating up its own funeral pile.
I turn it up, switch. I turn it up, switch. I turn it up.
This discipline that you see here, brothers and sisters, is born out of the adversity that we face in the square. How many of us can say that we saw that on public media, on the mainstream media? They had a complete and utter blackout. Okay? That's the reason. They say that necessity is the mother of invention. And that's exactly what's happened. Out of the necessity to protect our community, out of the necessity to protect ourselves, Forever Family was born. Now I want you to remember that name. Remember the name Forever Family, because that is going to be your go-to when it comes to gang truces. sisters are safe on the streets, policing the estates, and ensuring that at these kind of events, we've always got a force that you can count on.
Are you still? Can you hear me, Jason? I think I've just
Yeah.
muted you. Then. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What do you say about this so far, mate? This looks like anything that you would see in Afghanistan or something. I mean, look at this balaclavas. He looks like he's from some Islamist kind of radical thing going on, going all the way to Che Guevara. You know, there's a multitude of different attitudes just in the visualization here.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's a far cry from from the sort of militia group that we saw in America, only for the fact that they're armed. You know, they're armed to the teeth, be it with some of the wrong magazines and optics and whatnot, but they are armed. Whereas this sort of force family or whatever they're called it's indoctrination. It's nothing but there's nothing, and that's one thing that is really got to me over these past couple of months with Black Lives Matter. The whole thing. What have they done for Black lives? What have they changed for the positive in Black communities? What have they actually brought to the table that is changed the fight in Black communities for now and to the future? Not a fuck.
What's the black on black knife crime stat for Brixton, do you think, Jason?
Exactly. And this is,
this ain't me denigrating a black person because of that as the counter argument in a sense, but this is the first thing that anyone would say, well, if you're all about, like you said, Black Lives Matter, I'm not saying don't worry about racism, because there is a construct that people believe in, which is racism. But ultimately, what is there in front of you is not police brutality that is taking you out in alarming numbers. It is black on black crime.
Yes.
And it's single families. And it's the nasty militant attitude that can turn black people against black people. That is embedded within the black community. Now, not to say that exists throughout the whole of the black community, but it's there. We can't deny it. I'm not going to deny it. I've waltzed in and out of it. I've seen it. I've seen the best part of it, and I've seen the worst part of it in all different facets. And I'll gladly do a video talking about all my life experiences. And believe me, if I was to break down the black population, just like I could break down the white population, none of yous would look good for the things that me as a human being have witnessed. But Jason, you'd be the same, because you're a human being that's experienced the good and the bad in everybody.
Exactly. But the main factor is, Phil, what is this teaching the youth? Now, this Sasha uses language like the police are the KKK.
Yes.
The are your enemy.
Yeah.
We want to police our own communities, our own towns, our own cities.
With knife on knife crime the way it is, are you serious that you're going to now distribute sheriff badges? Can you honestly? And then to a people that are acting in an empowered way, that are not in any way or mentally disciplined. Let's put it that way. And I've seen that in white society. But at the same time, I've got to call out what I'm seeing now. I'm not seeing paramilitary behavior done on the white side to the extent this is done. Now, we can talk about 300 years ago, Jason, but that's not ultimately going to stop me going to work tomorrow and making a buck, making bread for my family. So why am I thinking about that?
Yeah.
Redundant. But anyway, sorry, mate. I don't want to keep you. Go on. I'll let you finish this. Yeah. Go on, mate. Sorry.
If they're talking about, you know, shining a positive light on the black community, and as they say, police their own and look after their own, what sort of future are you setting for the black youth in Britain today? Do you want them to become militarized? Do you want them to become militant? You know, even if when we hearken back to the Black Panthers were justified in certain things that they did because there was a lot of police brutality. And the Black Panthers were organized and mobilized to watch out for their districts and look after each other and watch out for police brutality and things that went on within their districts, cities and towns. That's what they, I suppose at the end of the day, they were quite proactive. You know, I don't agree with everything that the Black Panthers were about, but they were proactive. They gave people a little bit of hope, a little bit of, shall we say, camaraderie within the Black community. But to stand up and say that all police are fucking KKK, they're racist, we don't fucking need them, we're going to go to war. I mean, that's what she's calling for. She's calling for war.
If
War
a
with
black
who?
individual,
I mean,
Jason,
like what I say,
if a black individual, Jason, sorry to put in there, but if he gets stabbed because postcode crime, postcode drug fueled gangs, if he somehow gets shot because of an illegal gun that is being distributed through the crime community by a black guy or even a Romanian gang or even an Asian gang or even a white gang, do you reckon he's going to want the police? Do you reckon he's going to want the ambulance service? Do you reckon they're going to want, because this is another point, this capitalist system that they're trying to rip down? Because under socialism, mate, what would normally happen to people like this? Would they get rolled in a ditch? The ditch when you get a knife crime? And would you have the wealth of the healthcare and the judicial system and the police that would come to help you in a fucking heartbeat? Would you have that in a socialist country? Hello.
no,
Is he gone?
and that you've hit just, and,
Oh,
and
geez.
that is the problem here, and it is a major problem.
Jason, we have a problem with your sound, mate. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of coming in and out, and it's almost like your headphones are rubbing, but I'm sure it's not. I don't know whether it's your port. I don't know what it is. Hello.
Possible.
Hold on.
Do you want me to try and get the computer back up and running?
No, that's perfect the way you are now. I don't know what you've done that's any different. Can you just keep talking?
Is that better?
Yeah, it's
Is
like
that better?
something's rubbing. I don't know if your headphones and the mic's in a place where it's rubbing again. I don't know what it was. It was like that, but oh no, it's still doing it again. Don't know what it is, mate. Don't know what it is.
Even I can hear an echo.
Can you hear it? Yeah, I think it's coming from your side rather than mine. But what were you saying anyway, mate? I don't want to break your train of thought. Rub that port, someone said.
I mean, what did they say?
Go on, mate.
I just think that and
oh, it's getting bad. It is getting bad. It's getting to the point, mate, where I'm sorry, Jason, but I can eat. Your sentences are getting really broke and staggered, and can't even get a full sentence because it's cutting in and out. So I don't know whether you want to try and get your computer booted and then drop back in. Yeah.
Take
Give it a go, mate.
feed just now, and I'll see what I can do.
All right, dude. Okay. All right. See you in a minute.
Perfect.
Right, there we go. Oh, wow. Right, let's go through a couple of comments then while I'm here. It resets it sometimes. Yeah, Katie, I know you've got your eye. You got me back, haven't you? Technology-wise, Katie's jumping in. Just make them a chance for the week or two. Yeah, it's right, innit? Give them what they want, the autonomy that they so crave, and watch him fuck it up. But it's like Jason says to a degree, it's all right them doing that, but it's the damage they're doing by them being allowed for this. And what really worries me is you watch football, and football is still promoting Black Lives Matter. Even though when you rub across this, you've got Antifa, You've got the Muslim Brotherhood. You've got George Soros. You've got these guys, yeah? FF Force. You've got the NFAC. You've now got elements of the Black Panthers. Where's the positivity in any of them groups? I mean, I'm not the only one who sees it, because this is the reason why you guys are on here as well, and you're scratching your head and you're thinking, what? You know what I mean? I mean, where's the fairness? I mean, this is the group that's merged, and tell you what I'll do. I'll go through the video a bit more so you can see it, and I'll just get Great Brits comment off there if I can do that. Symbolic extreme elements. We have a problem where most of them are supporting each other, and that's and it's splitting everyone apart. You know, and it's all right asking for unity, but you can't unify with wrong'uns, and I've always said that. So if I want to support, essentially, roughly speaking, what Black Lives Matter is all about, I can't go anywhere near it, because what the fuck? You know, 3 steps down. They are subscribing and prescribing to all types of terrorism and terroristic acts, and just literally turning on folk for the sake of it, wanting to upset the system, wanting to get reparations, when all they've got to do is get a fucking job, you know, get a good mindset about you, and everything will work out. I know many Black successful people, and I just don't get it. We've all got chances in life. Maybe your mindset is the thing that's holding you back than the fucking police, but that's really my way of looking at it. And it's never held me back. You've seen, I've been on holiday. I'm on my freaking jet ski, running up and down. Just done a 10-mile ride on a wicked bike. Got a beautiful wife, 2 kids. I'm going to be doing a fucking bike rides next year for charity. So it's like, seriously, I'm a confident person, but I know I can do it. So if I can do it, I'm not special. I'm not fucking human. I'm not superhuman. I'm not a supremacist of any kind. I'm a human being. I was put on this shit pile called Earth, just like us all, for a good long time, to learn this experience, see it, learn from it, and fucking try and do the best by it. It's like, why can't other people do that? I mean, what a go on in? What a go on in? Right, so let me go at this for a bit. Jesus Christ. Take me home.
Now, we know that the police are not going to protect us.
In this country, in 15 or 20 years' time, the black man will have the whip hand over the white man. I can already hear the chorus of execration.
You see that them slogans they're using that are old slogans done by people that were living in a different time, that probably did, in a way, have elements that were uncomfortable to sit around, right? And I get that. We're not there now. Now, they've used that audio in this as propaganda. The funny thing is, with them running around like this, you're probably going to get that. You're probably going to get that animosity all again, where you're going to invite people to go to websites where they're talking about that, and they're using that propaganda against the black man. So you're actually bringing on, it's called self-fulfilling prophecy, you bunch of militant muppets.
How dare I say such a horrible thing?
Look at this. Look, now whether she's left there what, or obviously left there, she's obviously part of this. Against herself. What she want to rip down? What if her family gets attacked because of the ideology that's being expressed through this? Are we waiting for a murder? If we've not seen it already. Look, does she know what she's doing? Does he know what? Well, they must be just mad out commies, seriously. And I'm a black man. I'm a mixed race guy. And to Mr. G Block, I don't agree with this, dude. I don't. And there's no way, and there's nothing you can articulate to me that he's then going to scratch off to say, well, I agree with this. Woke babies. Woke babies. That's almost evil. Evil. Because the woke that you're injecting into that beautiful thing there, look at a beautiful face, yeah? Man, what's she going to be a product of? And it's not going to be evenness and fairness. If you just left her alone to live a life and stop injecting, I guarantee, mother, that you will give her a better life and better opportunities rather than doing this. I mean, I go to marches all the time, and I haven't in a while, the odd one, quite recently. But other than that, when I first started this, I was up and down. I was very dubious about taking my kids, and I still am. One, for security reasons, because no one needs to know unless they know me personally, and I don't parade my family about for anyone. But two, I left my politics away from my family. I'll talk with my family about anything, and we do talk about anything and everything, but I certainly won't tell them what to think, and I won't parade them on any march. And it's just wrong, and particularly when you're then saying woke baby. So that tells me that you're trying to inject probably a progressive attitude into her, really, when she's got every opportunity in life. Sad to see.
Blood. Their tragic and intractable phenomenon, which we watch with horror on the other side of the Atlantic, but which is interwoven with the history and existence of the states itself, is coming upon us here by our own volition and our own neglect.
Don't push me, because I won't call back my knee. Don't push me.
Don't push me, she said. Watch. What's the first thing that she does? But jumping in and out of the police when they're only trying to do the job, and they're actually in soft uniform. Going back to what the point that Jason and I and Great Britain spoke about, and many others as well. When I've gone to marches, it's always hard uniform, and it's tactical for all different range of forces that culminate into watching that march and doing all that they do. And you do see some ugly scenes, but it's very rare. It's certainly not militant in this fashion, but the presence of the police doesn't help because of the uniform. Now, you can see here on two separate occasions, I've seen Brixton on the riot a few weeks ago, and I've seen it with this. And on both occasions, the police have got soft uniform. Now, just watch what happens here.
Give me your phone, Gongo.
Can you back up, please, yeah? Just go back to there, so we can film. Go back to there.
Look, it's being fair. Being fair. You still want to defund him. People are running around that march saying, fuck the police. But look at him. Now, you will get the odd bad cop that will just give a little bit of shit out, but I guarantee you're less chance to see it in this march as you would in another. You know what I mean? I don't see anyone here unless it's absolutely deemed necessary, kind of brandishing anything. I don't see horses or anything like that. So these are being fair and polite and nice, but they're not getting any thanks for it. See, I don't know what that kind of drink was, but maybe if you drunk some bleeding water, yeah, stop putting that fizzy shit that's got all kinds of synthetic fucking chemicals and stop messing with your brain. And maybe you'd save using the capitalist system. Get a job. I'm sure you've got a job. And then save to take your family to a good place and get out of this mess. Look at here now. Look. Militant behavior. I mean, that's all it is. I don't care who I'm talking to. I'll say it to a white guy, black guy, freaking Muslim, Hindu, whoever.
In this country, in 15 or 20 years' time, the black man will have the whip hand over the white man.
Do you hear that, guys? Sounds like Jason's back in the house. For God's sake, you know, take me home. Take me home. Take me home. Yes, Jason.
Can you hear me?
That's beautiful, mate.
I'm back. I'm here.
You're back. And please don't ever use £2 headphones on my stream. It's all about professionality here.
Mate, these are proper Apple headphones.
Okay.
Bonafide.
I'll take it then. Something was dodgy, mate. Let me put it that way.
It was dodgy. It was one of those things where my computer's temperamental and you've got to treat it right. You know, so I talked to her during my brief break there. Like, you know, but we're good now, aren't we?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I've just moved on with the video a little bit, and we're up to where the showing some of the characters, particularly this Muslim lady on the screen here. Now, I don't know what.
Allahu Akbar.
Yes. Now, I don't know. We've got to make this clear. We don't want to then go, well, this is Muslims' fault, because we can't, and we're not about to say that either, Jason. What we are about to say is we cannot determine what branch of Islam she subscribes to, or what we can say is that her form of it seems to be more radicalized, or she seems to have more of a radicalization and a militancy about her whole energy. And if she stood next in between two police officers saying that, which is, I think there's another one that she says. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong thing here. I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry, mate. Right. 1 second. There you go. So what are your thoughts there, Jason? Now, I know, let me set this up a little bit. A lot of people don't know that Jason was in a place that it can probably identify with a lot of what's going on right now. Let me just leave it like that. So, Jason, how do you feel about this, watching this now?
It's again, it's all militancy, isn't it? It's all geared up for, and we're in a strange place in society at the moment in regards to race relations, multiculturalism, all these different things are getting played out. And what we're seeing at the moment, especially with the more militant side, Black Lives Matter and everything else, that it's a bit like, you can't fucking touch me. You can't come near me. You can't put your hands on me. You can't even talk to me. Empowered. Because I am of the certain demographic now that is empowered, but empowered to a fault. And like what I was saying earlier, it basically it goes right back to that. What are you wanting? Do you want to militarize your youth, your black youth? Is that what you want? Do you want them to look at all police officers? And like what we said before, Phil, 28% of all police officers in the United Kingdom are of colour. And a higher demographic in the United States. So when you call all police the KKK, they're all racist. They're all so. If I'm going to have this right, you want to police the black community. That's what you want to do. You don't need anybody else's help. Like what you said, Phil, fuck the ambulance service, fuck the fire brigade, fuck the police. We're going to deal with it ourselves. That's great. That is great if you've got a structure in place that is going to stop all the stabbing, stop all the shootings, stop all the gang violence, and bring the black community together from the elders down to the youngers. But unfortunately, that's not what I'm seeing. I'm only seeing a militant branch of I don't know what it is. I mean, what are they called? Family force? What?
Yes.
No, family force. Family force. Wait.
But this is the same. It's funny this because BLM in their manifesto want to break the nucleus family.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And they refer to family within this organisation, but yet the amount of single parent families within black population
yes.
probably staggering across the board and across the world.
Yes. And Akala even talked about that. That is your demographics. Now, if you've got all these single parent families where the so-called dads or the proverbial dad is out sowing his seeds with other women and not giving flying fuck about the first brood that he brought into the world, and these women are left to become the father and the mother of that family unit, it's not bloody working. The mums, I mean, we hear the same rhetoric played out every time. He was such a good boy. He was such a quiet boy. He never done anything wrong. That's because you don't know what your fucking son's getting up to when he leaves your door. And that is the truth of it. And it's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's stereotypical of that type of upbringing. And that is the truth. Because to have your nucleus family, as they call it, you need the mother and father. Now, even if they're split up, you still need that guidance. You still need that.
I mean, what's imperative within that, Jason, is both of them have got an element of a decent morale and ethics about them.
Yes.
You could still have the nucleus family, but if they're both wrong'uns, that's no good at all. You know what I mean? In a sense that you can still import and toxify the kids still. So you've got to have the nucleus family that want to achieve, want to look after each other, want to support the wider community around them, and want to be a part of that wider community.
Yeah.
But anyway, mate, go on, mate. Go on.
The whole problem is, Phil, a lot of the black youth in central London, they're very intelligent kids. You know, they're not stupid. Yeah. A lot of them achieve in school, but it's what they face outside the schoolyard. It's what they have to abide by every day. If you're the wrong
on the telly, what they listen to in their headphones.
If you're the wrong postcode, you'll get stabbed. You'll get wet up because you're the wrong postcode. And they're getting taught that from such a young age that I suppose by the time they do reach their teenage years, what have they got to look forward to? You know, what, and that's the truth. And I think that is something that I would love to see the black community come together. And a lot of them do. I won't say that they don't, because a lot of them do to try and stop knife crime and Mothers Against Knife Crime. And there's a guy in London that does amazing work, an ex-gang member, and he does the most heartfelt work I've ever seen anybody do, solitary work. And he takes it to the black community because he understands the black community. And going back to what Akala said, Glasgow had one of the worst knife crime problems in Europe. In Europe, mate. And they solved it. Do you want to know how they solved it? They went into the communities. They worked with the communities. They changed the demographics of the communities. They gave the youth hope. They gave the youth direction, be it through any means that they could to eradicate the problem. That's not getting done with the black community in London. It's just statistics. It is just statistics. And that's where we need to enlighten each other. We need to know where the catalyst is. Is it because of the broken families? Is it because of low esteem? Is it because of what the media drives and the media projects the black community to be? All of these things need to be answered before we can move forward with a militia group that, in my eyes, Jesus, what you
You know what they want? Their cards are on the table for all to see.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
This isn't for equality on all sides for everyone to have a nice life together. This is victim mentality that's now got a weapon, and it's militarized its brain as well. It will probably, I mean, let's put it this way. If they carry on like this, are we more likely to see reparations, which I do believe reparations have been paid anyway, but these call for reparations? Are we more likely to see reparations and the UK chop, or are we more likely to see a race war or race war of the mind, race relations damage?
That is a very intelligent way of putting it, Phil. And I would say you're right on both counts, because I think you're going to get both in the fact that we're already seeing what it's doing to people mentally. So it's causing that mental division. It's making people think about certain communities in a certain way that in everyday life you just wouldn't even, it would never come up. It would never ever enter your mindscape. But we're seeing that already. And the repatriations they'll come from the liberal left. They will come from the government structure that appeases this and condones it. So I think you'll see a bit of both, to tell you the truth. I don't think it'll be as clear cut that, let's be honest, mate, the people on the streets don't want a war. They don't want a race war. No one does. Because at the end of the day, we've rubbed along together nicely and appreciate each other and love each other for our different cultures, different characteristics, different. And that is multiculturalism in a whole. And it's only the Western world that deals with multiculturalism. Did they not understand that? You can't go to Poland and start shouting the odds. You can't go to China and start shouting the odds. You can't go to any other country that hasn't embraced multiculturalism and start shouting the odds.
It's funny you should say that, mate. I can't get it up now because it means I have to come out of sharing the screen. But I'm already on another article. Same again, I was looking at probably 3 or 4 different stories I was going to cover before I actually got home. Couple of them ridiculous, and one was talking about China. The fact that what's going on with global tensions and geopolitical politics, the air of nationalism is growing in China, where they're now starting to probably expel people more than they have that are Western and treat Westerners with a little bit more disrespect than they probably did 5-10 years ago, because they feel economically they are gaining more of a foothold on the world, you know. So they're starting to kick back. No, it's not nice when they're getting called this and they're getting called that, and Trump was calling all kinds of names, which then probably they got a lot of flack for that. But at the same time, there's you know, no one's saying there's right and wrong, but there's a way of dealing with it, and it only made the race relations a little bit worse. So yeah, it's just disappointing, mate. I don't know whether you want to reply to that before we go back to this for a little bit, see what other nuggets pop up.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, through this whole pandemic, this whole COVID outbreak, China has been working in the background for quite a long time, more so towards the latter end of last year to the beginning of this year. China is a superpower. And it far outweighs your countries like Russia and America put together. And that is where it becomes quite scary, because China's military might dwarfs the rest of the world, dwarfs it. And they've never flexed their muscles in a long, long time. And what they're doing is quite intelligent, because they are flexing their muscles, but they're flexing their muscles in a different type of way. They're securing the stock markets. They're securing trade deals. They're doing everything within their power to put them in the driving seat. And they're doing it covertly. And that is the truth. And China's been doing this for a very, very long time.
Mm.
So
people want to consider that we buy a lot of technology from China, a lot of mobile phone technology, or the different companies that have got mobile phones. Now, within mobile phones, it has to have certain minerals in order for that mobile phone to function. Then minerals have to come from other parts of the world. So their claim on other countries in terms of minerals, we could do a whole show on that, Jason, couldn't we?
We certainly could. Africa being one of them. Africa being the main country that is getting...
That's the point, that, mate. That's the point. Black Lives Matter. So you've got China running around grabbing the minerals from African countries. They might be giving him little bits of trinkets everywhere, but don't forget, a bit of sense of nationalism is creeping in. So do you think they're treating black people on an even keel? So imagine Black Lives Matter, NFAC, and these, for fuck's sake, family crew, you know, decide to hold a march in Tiananmen Square. How do you think that's going to pan out, Jason?
One, I don't think it'd be televised because it'd be a massacre, to tell you the truth. It wouldn't be televised. In fact, to tell you the truth, it would be done and dusted, and there'd be an outbreak or something just to cover it up, because that is the power of China. And let's be honest, China do not. It doesn't matter what anybody says. President Trump. I mean, I just noticed today, President Trump has now banned TikTok in America. That's it.
Yep.
Done and dusted, because of China. They're not allowed to use TikTok. Now, President
I've
Trump...
got to say here, mate, no one else is going to get on this, but I do believe Tony's response to the last time you tried to do a Trump impersonation...
Mate, that was bang on.
She said it was the worst impersonation she's ever heard. She didn't know it was Trump, mate. So I've just got to get that out, because Tony will say that.
Let's let the people watching, right? I'll do it just... It's China. It's China. I mean, you know,
Sounds like it to me, mate. That sounds like it to me. You haven't got the same flip-top head, the hairstyle and anything, mate.
Wait,
you probably get a bit more in character.
What do you think? Phil, what? It's China. China. But anyway, that just shows you strategically what the USA is doing at the moment. They're going after them tech-wise. Yes. And so is Britain in a certain respect. So now that tells you one thing. You can't go over, you can't outdo them in the military-wise. No. So you're going to try and take away their toys in a different perspective, and that being technology. Now, unfortunately for us and America, we rely heavily on China, Taiwan, and various other countries for exports and imports of microchips alone, where the minerals come from Africa and various other countries to actually be able to make these microchips in the first place. So it's a funny old game, you know. It is. And Trump likes to put his cards on the table. He's like a kid. It's like playing Snap. He's just like, boom, I'll win. That's it.
There's parts of it I like, and there's parts of the way he does it. I know the rub off he gets, and I know even if you know the economy's a bit better and black jobs, there's still an element where I think, oh, Trump, you could have worded that better. Trump, you know, you talk to someone before you done this press conference, and you know he's not as smooth as we'd like him to be, but he's a businessman that gets the job done. You could say that about him, but I wouldn't say he's rough and ready. There's not an element of that. He's far richer than I could ever be, you know, and all that. But there's an element where I do cringe, and I don't thoroughly support everything he says and does either. It has to be said. But he's far better than frigging Hillary Clinton. Yeah.
But I think that's where we are in the United States at the moment, and in Britain. A lot of people look at Boris Johnson and think he's a dither and idiot. Especially the way that everything's went on with the pandemic and all those sort of things, that the government is under pressure. And same being in America. I mean, the Trumps came out with a few crackers as well. But when you look at these two leaders, as superpower countries, more so America than Britain, it begs the question, you know, they don't seem like the person that would fit the job. You know, you look at people like Putin and you think, fuck me, that guy won't take no shit.
Yeah.
He won't take no shit. And he's direct and he's for Russia. First and foremost, he's for Russia.
And the worst part about that, mate, guess who he's in allegiance with?
China.
Fucking good timing there.
Well, you know.
Right, let's get back to this video. Let's get back to this and see what other nuggets pop up.
Yeah.
Oh, let's try a bad luck, police. What's that all about? Fuck the police. Sorry. Brixton police station. I thought about defund the police, mate. Just a quick thought.
You can't be doing that.
They are racist. You ain't got no mask. You lot have only just started wearing masks. Shut the fuck up, you racist motherfucker.
Why has he got to be racist? Because he's just started wearing a mask.
Why is it relevant? Why is it relevant?
You're racist because you've got that ring on. You're racist because you've got that hat on. I mean, Jesus Christ, how many things that are not relevant?
All of you motherfuckers are racist. Prince Andrew is a fucking pedophile.
Prince Andrew's a paedophile. Well, she's right about that. I mean, they're bang on about that.
Right? And then Prince Andrew is a pedophile. Prince Andrew is a fucking pedophile.
Yes.
That shot round there like a fucking Mexican wave, didn't it, mate? Jesus Christ. That one spark of truth and everyone like, hey, yeah, that's got on you now, for fuck's sake. So is that why they come out?
But it's like what you said.
Go on, mate.
It's like what you said. It's like, we can't get you on the mass. We can't get you on that. Fuck it, Prince Andrew's a paedophile. Hey! You know, it's like, what?
There's loads of intelligence rolling around here, mate. And these are coming from probably smart people as well. This is the worrying thing, innit? We're not saying that these people are dumb, but they're politically, or they're acting in a either politically illiterate way or a leftist, far left, socialist, revolutionary way. It's only the one or two. There's no in between here. And
the funny thing is,
Muppets that don't even realise.
The funny thing is, though, Phil, our Sasha that you can hear speaking and comes into shot now and again, Sasha's from a very middle class upbringing. Sasha's mummy and daddy are very rich.
How did he get rich then, Jason? Was it through the capitalist system or was it through socialism?
I'm not sure, Phil. I think it could have been the She comes from a very, very privileged background. So she's either got this chip on her shoulder through our university friends or, I mean, I'm going to say this, and just everybody watching, it is not my words, it is Sasha's words. She called another black man a coon.
Yeah.
A coon.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. That's not derogatory to black men across the world. That is how she perceives your Uncle Tom, your coconut, it is just beyond belief. That is an intelligent woman that has been hoodwinked by God knows who. It really is.
That's her only response to someone who I've spoke with Luke on the comments section. I think he was one of my subbers. We do disagree on many things, and I don't thoroughly agree with the way he thinks. I'll say that now. But what I will say is an articulate, individual. He's not an aggressive individual. He knows how to put himself across, and he tends to be able to express himself in a right and respectful manner. So there's no way he deserved to be called that. And I've seen the footage, and I know, you know, so we all know we're not trying to build anyone's straw man up here, but at the same time, there was only one person that was being militant and racist then at that point, but yet she's fighting against the very thing that she became at that moment when she said that, surely.
Yes, and stands by it. I mean, she actually done a radio show the other day there where it was reiterated again, and she stood by it. So it's going back to what I was saying. What is the drive? What is the end game here? Do you want to have black communities or black districts policed by black militia? And then where's the hierarchy? Who deems what is right and wrong within that community? Does it come down to the family force, or does it come down to the community in themselves? Because I would be damn sure that your older generation and your generations of our age, Phil, would want nothing to do with it. They don't want to be policed by some upstart Marxist leftist bloody agenda. It's like, come on. They want to live their lives. They want to see their grandchildren. They want to go to their works. They want to enjoy the life after COVID. They don't want to be policed by a black militia.
Yeah. Just like you wouldn't want
or
to
a
be
white militia,
by a white militia,
exactly.
or a Muslim militia. You know, it's
Exactly.
like, what do we do? Let's get back to this, mate, because it's just it's more comical than anything.
But you want to criminalise our black boys? You don't even talk to your mother, you fucking racist pig.
How much you did assault nobody? You're
No justice! No justice!
No peace!
Fuck the police! Fuck the police!
Don't you think? We ain't harming none of you. You lot think that you lot can come and harass us just like that?
Where's the harassing?
Look how many police officers?
So like 5 of us.
Well, what do you expect when you're all acting like that?
I haven't told us what's happening. They said he assaulted us.
They hate what we're saying. Look at the helicopter above.
Helicopter above. That's very fucking deja vu like, mate. We haven't seen
We've
them
seen
before.
that before. We've seen that before.
More than one.
Yeah.
You came with force. We had no force. You've been walking behind us for a while. So how did you know back then when you were following us that you assaulted us?
No force, but yet she's screaming out Allah friggin' Akbar in other parts of London. Yeah, right. This is all positive.
Come on, you fucking liars. Liar! Liar! We're fed up of you. We're ready to war you fuckers. Fucking liars. Liar! When the idiot was beating the shit out of you, you don't even know what to do. And as a black man, you should be ashamed of your uniform.
Oh, is he a coon now?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, the same again. She's now blaming them for the exploits of the EDL. I don't agree with the EDL, right? And a lot of people didn't. When the EDL come to town in any place, look at what happened with the police presence, as in the DFLA, as in the FLA, as in Veterans Against Terrorism, as in not Maria's. That's the only one that's never been hit with such a police presence. That's the only thing. So that should tell a lot of people something. So she's trying to use that to say we're the only people. No, look at the soft uniform here, Jason.
Yeah.
You don't see this anywhere, and they're not actually doing anything to anyone here at any point. They're not exposing any batons, you know, they're telescopic kind, and putting them on the shoulder. There's no horses in the background. This is all, it couldn't be any milder, mate. They might as well just sit and put some music down and have a bit of dancing, because nothing's happening here.
That's
but
what
yet
they're projecting. Yeah. And yet they feel antagonized over just the police presence. Nothing more, nothing less. Just over the police is presence. And like what you said, Phil, we've experienced police presence on every march. Any march that we've ever been on. Doesn't matter what the march has been about. but we've had heavy policing. And the only march we didn't have was the Marias March, which was predominantly all women and went off without a hitch. In fact, we even had a police officer, an armed police officer, stand with a teddy bear and get his picture taken. So for dare to care for a bear. But it's true. The thing that I'm seeing more and more, a couple of weeks ago, we looked at that video where there was the riots in London because there was a block party and the police came. The police got chased away. The police got chased out. They didn't go in riot gear. They went in soft clothing and they got chased for an inch of their lives. That is, if that's what you want to do, if you think that you're going to ring fence Brixton and police yourselves, well, that means that you're basically, you don't want the fire brigade. You don't want the ambulances for when a black youth gets stabbed. He's going to bleed out in the streets. Are you going to deal with all that? Are you going to deal with the ramifications of black kids killing each other within Brixton or within the boroughs of London? And you're going to deal with that as the family force? Are you trained, firefighters or trained doctors or paramedics? Or is this, what are you trying to implement? Because as far as all I can see, is militancy. Now, militancy gets you nowhere unless you've got something to back it up. If you've got a plan that they're not sharing at the moment, then I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear how, in the space of 3 months, you've taken us back 40 fucking years when it comes to race relations in America and in Britain. How are you going to rectify that? And segregation is no way rectifying that.
No, I agree, mate. And look at the police. You mentioned a point before. Oxford, Brixton, sorry, the last riot, the block party that then a riot ensued. They were in soft uniform. Now, the police are supposed to be institutionally racist. There will be elements within it, just as you will get elements of people that are sexist in it, just as you will get elements of homophobia in it, just as you will get elements of Islamophobia in it, just as well as you'll get elements of transphobia in it. There's good and bad, but predominantly good. We've got to kind of agree on that. Otherwise, society would be fucked if it was riddled that much within the police force, because none of us would be going anywhere. Now, of course, you've got this next. So they've got it in the knowledge that the last time they shown up in Brixton as a police force, they got chased out and pretty much every vehicle that they had got damaged. God knows how much that cost the taxpayer, right? So they turn up for this event, knowing that they've allowed these people to redress and have freedom of speech. Look at how they've come again, Jason. Do you think they've come with the attempt, we're not going to let them do that again, or we're going to show them? No, look at how softly dressed they are. And in terms of attitude, look at what they're doing. So it doesn't make any sense from a rational position when you look at it, does it?
No, because it's instead of building bridges with the police, instead of having the rapport with the police like you and I used to have when you were younger, we all knew our Bobby on the beat. You knew him because he'd kick your ass if you got caught fucking doing anything. And either that or he'd take you to your mum and dad and you get your ass whooped a second time. But you had that mutual respect. They're not wanting to build bridges with the police. They discard the police as a menace to society. Now, I'm going to say this, and a lot of people might disagree with me, but the only reason stop and search was more prevalent within black communities was because of the knife crime that was going on in the first place. Now, stop and search got paid to by
not
Sadiq
just knife
Khan.
crime, mate. They had
Not just
the drug crime, the
drug crime,
guns,
everything.
You know?
So when Sadiq Khan put pay to that, because it was deemed racist, because the black community were overly represented and getting the stop and search, so it became a race thing. When he stopped that for nigh on a year and a half, the stabbings and the killings went through the fucking roof.
So I think to myself, mate, what do I want? Do I want someone to stop and search me knowing, and I don't want my liberty strict, and I don't want anyone to look at me. Like, same again, look at me. So I could be likely to be stopped under that because I could fit into a profile that you see on a music video that the policeman then may want to watch me a little bit further. So then it's up to me with my conduct on how I project myself. But I think to myself, thank you. But what would I want more? Would I want that to happen, knowing that I could engage and get myself out of that? Or would I want that not to happen, know that there's a higher propensity that I'm going to get stabbed because I'm not able to have the policeman to be able to remove the knives on the street that is causing this problem? Because his hands are tied.
Yeah. His
hands are making his society even fucking more darker.
His hands are tied for the outset. I mean, a lot of people don't know about the police force and what the police forces went through in the last 30 years. As soon as political correctness was enforced within the police force, they're not allowed to do their jobs. And that's the truth of it. Your average Bobby on the beat cannot do their jobs for political correctness. But that's a different life, that's a different story. But where I was going with it, if there was no knife crime within the black community, you wouldn't have stop and search. You wouldn't have black youth getting pulled over disproportionately to anybody else because they wouldn't be seen as a threat or, as you said, a stereotype of what goes on within the black community. And that is the truth. And when stop and search was only implemented again the latter end of last year, it became, you saw these videos on YouTube, black youth getting pulled over. Were they polite? Did they help the police? And no, they fucking didn't. They swore at the police. They struggled with the police. Why am I getting pulled over? This is fucking racist. And unfortunately, 9 out of 10 times when they searched them, they had a fucking blade on them.
Victim mentality, Jason.
Yes.
And if you're going to become the victim in a normal transaction like that, you know, and if there is any racism to report within it, then go through the relevant channels and that's fine. And I'm not saying it never happens. By having them stop and search, you are putting probably a little bit of power and ease into the small proportionate amount of people that will be in the police force that do want to use it for that reason. You will, just like you will have someone who probably fundamentally doesn't like people of a certain weight, so digs into them over that. And you know, there's biases and discrimination of all different types. So sorry, mate, to cut you short here. It's just that I don't know how long we've been going here, but I don't want to be on too long because I've got to get back to the wife. I've not only been back 24 hours, mate, and I've already told her. You know what she said to me? She goes, "All right, Red Pill Phil's back. We've only just been back 2 minutes. Red Pill Phil's back. So I want to get through this video, show a couple of stills, but it's been great, and I'm loving it, mate. I'm loving your interjection and your thoughts on this." Fucking hell. Can you prove that? Right, so let's just see if anything else happens here. Because obviously...
You are liars. You are liars. You're all racist. Admit it. Look at you lot. Look at the population of you. One little black man. One little black man.
One little black man. I mean, we can't say what actually happened there, so we haven't got an opinion on that. But what we can say is that they're not acting in an overly manner. All they're doing now is shielding and protecting, and they're getting details from the guy. For all we know, this guy may have done something to actually warrant what is happening now. But I don't see anything disproportionate or that shouldn't be happening because, you know, go on, mate, if you want to say anything before I go back.
It's nothing. And that's the truth. So look at the policeman's demeanour. They're just, you know.
Imagine what's going through his head. He's probably thinking, what the fuck am I doing here?
Jesus
Have
Christ.
I heard Red Pill Phil was in Crete? I wish I was with him sat on the back of that fucking jet ski because I don't want to be here.
There should be like a dream bubble coming up. You know what I mean? Like, they're not being antagonizing. They're not being defensive. They're just there. And like what you said, no matter what's happened with the person that they've arrested, maybe the person will get released. But the more that they keep on, the more that they keep doing what they're doing, there's a higher chance that they will take them back to the station. So it's not productive.
No, it's silly. No, well, you can see he's going back in the van. But he might have done something, he might not. Hey, up.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, look. Oh, right, hold on. Right. I don't know what he'd done, but look at that. Look at that. Slave plantation of the mind of what? Now, I've got a still, mate, where he sat on a fucking lamppost and he'd put himself in some shackles and he was like that with his shackles on a lamppost, and the lamppost looked quite high. I mean, lampposts have got to be nowadays, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that was the offence or whether he's done something. I'm sure I heard earlier on that there was some form of pushing. So whatever he's been pulled into. But look at this. I mean, what do you make of that, mate? He's doing that to himself in the mind and physically, surely.
Yeah. It's a projection. And that is the thing. And like what you said earlier, this victimhood. Phil, you ain't a fucking victim, mate. Every person of colour that I know within this country that are my friends, they ain't fucking victims.
I've got a great life, mate. And it's through unions like you. It's through talking with people like you. And it's through talking with other demographics. And it's getting the positive out of everyone I try and encounter. Yeah. The only negative I get is people that are intellectually beneath the conscious level where I'm at. Now, not to say that I'm arrogant in that sense, but I know exactly the position I am in on my conscious path. And I know what is beneath me on a vibrational level. And that's it. I just go forward and like, boom, interacting with anyone. Fucking positivity. Here we come. I'm like, don't give a shit. As soon as I see some negativity, see you later. Could be black, could be Muslim, could be white, could be a fucking dog. It was geese the other week on the freaking canal. Fuck them off as well.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's geese are bad boys. Do you know the funny thing is, though, and I am going to say it, when he stepped out the police wagon, I thought it was Flavor Flav. Honestly. I thought that was a fucking clock.
Give them permission.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to hurt his neck. I mean, he's got more chance of getting reparations off that fucking thing round his neck, because that at this moment in his life, that's causing him more pain and distress than any white man.
Yeah. It's sad, mate.
It's sad. See, that's
all.
Tell me.
Give them permission.
What? It hasn't been decided yet.
Oh, okay. Well, he gets permission when
We love you. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
You are a pandemic. Look at you. You're a virus.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I need to know. He's giving permission. Has he got your phone number? No.
his phone's run out.
He's got a phone.
Oh, right.
I have his number, but...
Is this the same phone that got through a capitalist society, Jason?
Do you know the funny thing is, every time that I've been arrested, there's no fucking danger I'd get to come out the back of the wagon and go, hey, not open hell. Wait,
you get slammed in. Dude.
That has to be the softest arrest I've ever seen in my fucking puff.
He's probably got a little tea cakes and fucking soft drinks.
Mate, they come back to the station for a barbecue. No, I mean, what the...
Start a block party going. He's probably the DJ to give him a lift to the block party, mate. DJ
mate,
fucking plantation of the mind.
But it just shows you how it just falls completely flat on its face. You know, and I just heard her saying, "You're the pandemic. You're the virus."
Yeah. Wow, what a statement, dude.
So what does that make Force Family then?
Yeah.
Because you're more militant than the police, as far as I can see. So
as in energy that's being projected, you're certainly right, mate. They're like, they are, you said it before, they're indoctrinated. That is all you can see now. And when it's a cult mentality forming that it's when they can't see that their own actions is to the root of their own demise as well as the society around them. That's when you know that they have lost the plot in this. Whether they were financed for another agenda by another geezer of another ethnicity that wants a totally different agenda. But look at the bottom line here when you've got these dickheads talking about mobile phones that they bought a fucking China, that if you go there as a black man, you'll probably get treated worse than you did here.
Yes.
They're not going to have you standing in front of a... I remember we'd done that video not so long ago with a COVID, mate, where they were booting out people of ethnic... because
from
of...
China.
I'm going to get you back on as Trump next time, mate.
China. There he goes.
Get his details. Give his details. Now they've left. They won't arrange custody space while everyone's here because of this.
The back of racism is capitalism. And they say about education, we need a black militia. What we're saying is, you push, we push. You fight, we fight.
That's inciting.
Peace is not peace until you recognize our life. And we're not going to lay down no more. I'm not going down on the knee. I'm always going to be 10 toes standing. Just like my ancestors, 10 toes standing. No justice!
Right. There's a symbol there that you sent me some stills, and that's why I'm trying to get through this video so we can get to the stills. So let's just see if she says anything else.
Take it to the streets! I ain't scared of no terrorist group. The police is no different from the KKK. They stand around and protect statues and buildings instead of people. They need to join the local council and start to litter pick too.
Really? Really?
When I say they have a pepper spray, we have our own too. They have smokes, we have it too. Come together, put your fist in the air. Black power!
There was a white lady there. This is
mate, she's an albino. Don't go discriminating. No, she was an
we
albino.
need our own political part. Because we have David Lamb, he's tokenistic. We have Sadiq Khan, he's tokenistic.
Look, it's tokenistic, but he's still dramatically fucking changing London, whether he's a token or not. He's got the power. So what more does she want? You know what I mean?
Have you noticed what she's wearing around her neck?
Yeah, the old Africa thing.
Africa.
Remember back in the day when that was worn just like that, mate? And it was people like De La Soul and Tribe
Quest, Jungle Brothers.
Remember at the time? Yeah, exactly. Remember at the time that when that was done to promote Africa in a positive way. Did you
celebrate Africa? Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. I ain't wearing that now because of this. And it's not because I haven't got affinity for my African descendancy and my African brothers and sisters. It's because I'm not going to do it like this by denigrating every white person to get on a knee for something that I don't have to. It's not a negative part of my life. You know what I mean? No. It's just not.
Priti Patel, tokenistic. We've had so many inquiries. We've had the Grenfell inquiry, the Windrush inquiry, the Macpherson inquiry, the COVID inquiry. Fuck them. They know they're racist.
What about all the grooming inquiries?
They're ready to fight them.
Well, you know, if we're going to look at it. So you've got problems within the police, as in cover-ups and not wanting to talk about anything. But the white demographic could go, what about the Bangladeshi Pakistani population that's predominantly going round doing this to predominantly white girls, calling them kufar and denigrating them and sexually exploiting them and trading them through various fucking taxi systems and shops and family businesses and all types, just because of the color of the skin, but because of their culture on a radical level. They believe, because Allah's true word on the radicalized full literalization of the Quran, that the white individual or the non-Muslim is worthy of being treated like that. What would you say about that, Jason?
I would say you're 100% bang on the money. But the thing is that a lot of people didn't realize with that subject matter more than any other that you've just got to look at the rape statistics of minors within Pakistan and Bangladesh. And I'm talking about little boys first and foremost, before it even hits the girls. Because a girl is just but a thing under Islam, under Sharia. So when it comes to I mean, we spoke about this before, and I highlighted it the last time we were live. The first reported case was in 1975. So that means that it was first generation Pakistani Bangladeshi Muslims that brought this to our shores. Now it's been hidden for over 5 decades now, coming up for 6 decades. Hidden by the state, hidden by the CPS, hidden by the mainstream, hidden by the social workers, the every single thing. Because of what? Because of cultural cohesion and the diversity laws that they brought in. And last but not least, political correctness.
Which has led to empowerment of the very thing that has been happening all along. Yep. So by doing the same thing here, look at this. You are lucky we only want reparations. She doesn't look like she needs reparation. And, not revenge. I mean, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Obviously got a good life. You're doing all right. Yeah. And when you say revenge, ideologically wise, you're already doing that. By getting the person of now to go on one knee, that is revenge. That's 2 wrongs don't make a right. That's not, the way it was done before is build race relations through harmony and natural cohesion of the cultures, and both living under the same central system of this country, and both realizing that we've got good and bad in us all. You know what I mean? So,
but that's how it's worked, Phil. That's how it's worked since the first minorities came into this country. Now, let's be honest. We're now at 2020, right? If things were so systemic, if things were so racist and so bigoted and so horrible in this country, why would you stay for over 7 decades? Why would you do that? Now, the United Kingdom, just like the United States, allows different cultures, their places of prayer, their shops, their foods, every single thing is celebrated. I mean, it's Eid, for God's sake. This weekend is Eid Mubarak.
Well, I see you sent a link through the 18 chat, was it? Or someone did. And it was of a Facebook post of it kicking off in Eid. Because we've just had restrictions again in Greater Manchester. Yeah, no doubt they're putting out other words across other cities and towns across England as well onto like, be careful, be careful. Now Eid has come up, and what have they done? They've gone running out in mass. Now, we're not talking about positive, peaceful Muslims. We're talking about Muslims that just want to do what they want to do. Probably disenfranchised from what they can see as a system that's persecuting them, but yet they're running about. Now, if this was Saudi Arabia or fucking Pakistan, and their government was telling them, you ain't going out, or lockdown, or social distance.
Yeah.
The treatment that they would receive if they then started to run round like this, or they started to run round what area that was when they were running round on Eid, the way they was, would the police and the establishment been fair with them, Jason?
I wouldn't think so. And you know, the funniest thing that I saw over this whole shenanigans is they had an imam on BBC, right? And it was an imam, I think it was actually from Manchester, funny enough. And he was basically stating that this was like an attack. He said, could you imagine them cancelling Christmas 4 hours before Christmas Day? That's how we feel. And I'm sitting there watching it, I'm thinking, This isn't about cancelling Eid. It isn't about cancelling Christmas, mate. You're supposed to be the minority that is most affected by the coronavirus. And yet, because the government wants to lock down, because if we have it right, the cases were in the Pakistani Bangladeshi community. Because you weren't doing what you were supposed to be doing. You weren't.
How could be racism involved in the cancelling
in a virus.
When
the
global economy was shut down? Now we've all got room to say we're all the victim in that. No one can disagree. There was nothing racist in saying we're going to shut down the whole economy. And even we've talked about that even that was the wrong decision. It shouldn't have been done. There's a million ways that this COVID crap could have been handled that probably would have had less deaths and this, that, and the other. What part of it is real and all the rest of it? But the bottom line is, why be the victim in this?
Yeah.
Just do the right thing. Get through this shit time. We can get on with it, Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with your religion. It's got nothing to do with your religious holidays. It's got everything to do with the virus itself. And for the BBC to actually put an imam on and let him sort of come across as if this is going against the Pakistani Bangladeshi Muslim community within Britain and COVID's racist because we're having to lock down again. Like I said, you're having to lock down because you did not abide by the lockdown in the first place. You were still going to mosque. You were still meeting within different families within your community. So if there was a spike in cases, you brought it on yourself. But again, look at how they deal with it on the streets, en masse.
You're still racist. You're still racist.
You know, it beggars belief, Phil. It really does. It's got to the point now where victimhood, or this victimhood mentality, it's got to stop. Yeah. It's got to stop. And enough is enough. Especially, of course it is. It's not helping anybody. And let's be honest, mate, you just got back off your holiday. I watched your beautiful video, lovely scenes, beautiful place, and I love Greece. And you're coming back to this. You're coming back.
You know what, mate? You're right. You know what? Let me wear the victimhood cap for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you just hit the ground running. And this is only the same thing that we're all subjected to. Yeah. I feel for the people, more than me feeling sorry for coming back, mate. I feel for the people that have not had the chance to get away, not had the chance to roar up a fucking Mediterranean Ocean at 60 miles an hour. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not had the fun, not had the interjection with the local Greek people that have treated me brilliantly. That's made me assess where I'm at and how I can go out in any country of the world and have them same exact experiences. So I'm getting people from all walks of life that are not feeling this, but yet you come, and I think, man, if you've been sat, going back to Mr. G Block, did you hear about, was you in before when some Muppet come in and started saying about an echo chamber? You did, didn't you?
Yes,
so
yes.
I mean, that at the beginning. Positive experiences, mate. And, he can't then evaluate everything. He's going to think, yeah, an echo chamber. This ain't no echo chamber. This is someone that don't want to see this, don't want to see Mark Collette running around talking the way he does. You know what I mean? Just wants to see people of all ethnicities getting on, but then don't want to agree to a irrational migration flow, don't want to agree to abuse of children, don't want to believe or agree with false adoption or trafficking or any of that. And I've got a voice for it all. And to be cut down and to be then just called all types of names because you think like that is probably the most redundant. But I'll move on, mate, because I'm going to get going short because it's nearly a 2-hour stream, mate. This has been flowing, mate. It's been brilliant, this. But the one last point we'll make, and we'll speak on this, the affiliations. So we've got the FF Force, as we can see there. For fuck's sake, that's all I'm going to put them down because it's the last thing the world bleeding needs. And then obviously within the same the same march in Brixton, Black Lives Matter. So then you can obviously rub against Black Lives Matter as opposed to all different other organisations that have shown the colours within this as well. You're talking Antifa, you're talking Stand Up to Racism, and you're probably talking the Muslim Brotherhood and the
Nation of Islam.
Nation of Islam, you know, and all that. And we've not even gotten to the Israel and Palestine argument, because no doubt we'll have a fucking side on that as well. What that's got to do with anyone walking around Brixton, no one knows. But what's your view on this, mate? That you can clearly see now all the agendas from a 6 degree of separation. It's clear to see that the Black Lives Matter agenda is far more nefarious than what the average liberal who thinks he's doing the right thing holding up signs. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. It's became something. It sort of grew arms and legs, and I mean we spoke about this in the first instance when you had Katie Jane on, and I'll reiterate the same thing that I said. Never in my life have I never thought that a black life never mattered, never. And when it came to the killing and murder of George Floyd, as I stated before, I don't think anybody worldwide wasn't aggrieved, wasn't hurt, wasn't maddened, they felt such rage that could be put on our mainstream TVs and shown the murder of a black man in 2020. So it was never within question. And along pops Black Lives Matter. Again, we saw what was going on in America. It was very amplified in America, what was going on. A lot more rioting, looting, and killing. I mean, 8 young black little girls have lost their lives during the course of 3 months. 8. Under 10s have lost their lives because of this movement, because of the way they're conducting themselves. And the way that, I mean, when it hit the shores of Britain, it's like what I said, it's protest. I'm 100% behind protests in the right way. The minute you start attacking the police, the minute you make it more about terrorizing people than a peaceful protest, then you've got your head on back to front. You really have, and you've got everything loses credibility. Your whole name loses credibility. And what we did see in Britain, like what you said, Antifa, your white liberal leftists seem to be heading most of the marches, more than anything else. But we saw this injection of, you should feel shame. You should feel shame for this. You should get on your knees. You should, I mean, in some cases, I saw people kissing black boots. It just became ludicrous. It became farcical. And then when people, I mean, I've now watched Lewis Hamilton backtracking, Anthony Joshua backtracking for what they were stating in the first place, because now they've done their homework and they realise that these organisations are linked to the Nation of Islam, the Muslim Brotherhood, George Soros, linked to every sort of thing that you'd say to yourself, well, wait a minute, should I follow these things or should I actually use my brain?
Well, how have they made their money, Jason? Through the capitalist system.
They certainly have.
White and black demographics as well.
They certainly have. And unfortunately for Lewis Hamilton, driving under Mercedes, that was actually founded by a Nazi. And they actually built the first Mercedes car for the Third Reich using Jewish slaves. Oh dear. Oh dear. Is that a little bit too much information?
No, well, it has to be, it has to be done. Red pilling, mate, is not an easy place. And it really makes you have to make informed decisions on, once you've got that information, as to what you do, what you put your money into, what you agree to, what you watch on the TV, what the money behind the TV station, where it goes. Unfortunately, we do live in that world, and then you've got a moral choice, a compass on what you want to do. I mean, it's an interesting point, mate, because would any of... Hello? 1 second, mate. Hello? Well, you'll have to come in, Rianne. I'm actually live at the moment. you know, unprofessionality everywhere you go,
And
mate.
mate, it's
I'm
just
getting raided here now. Look, I'm about to get. If I get bopped on the head, it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But no, the point I was making. Would you see? We live in a capitalist system. We live in a system where the younger generation have now got trends and they've got things that they want to buy, and you know they've got emblems, and everyone likes logos. I love my logos.
Yeah.
How many of them would have been wearing "You Go Boss" on that march, mate?
Exactly. And you went through that. I remember you saying, I think your daughter bought you a T-shirt for your birthday, and it made they designed Nazis uniforms, for fuck's sake. And that's the truth of it. And you made a conscious decision, as do I. I wouldn't buy Hugo Boss. I certainly wouldn't wear it, as much as I wouldn't promote Mercedes, or I wouldn't promote any other company that had any links back to these organizations or the Third Reich, as it were, in that respect. But you've hit the nail on the head, Phil. They want to wear the trainers. They want to have the localization. They want to have the brand new mobile phones. They want to have all these things that are privileged, and you can only get through capitalism, because that is the way that capitalism works. Now, capitalism isn't inherently racist. You can deem it that by breaking it down into all different facets of capitalism, but capitalism isn't racism. So, come on.
If capitalism was racism, you wouldn't have any black businesses. You wouldn't have black entrepreneurs.
No.
You just wouldn't have the elevation of moving up. I mean,
you wouldn't have anybody outside the Western world or the capitalist world in trading aspects. They wouldn't have niche. They wouldn't have anything, because we wouldn't be dealing with you. Yes. We wouldn't be business partners. And the funny thing is, it goes back to China. Mate, I'm just too good at that. They are one of the biggest capitalist countries in the world, and yet they're the biggest socialist country. So they know what side their bread's buttered, and they know that for a fact. As much as they've got a high communist stance, they play the market because they know that's where it's at. So it's
you made a great point before. The way China are doing it has never been seen with superpowers before, because superpowers always come out with the flags, with the fists, and
to flex their muscles.
Yes, this is not happening with China, and their ideology. Yeah, mate, they don't. There's something very sinister, and we're going to cover something in a few weeks that's going to knock people for six.
Mate, it's just about there. 200 in. 200 in.
Really? Oh, wow. Matt, I've got to thank you for your diligence and everything that you've done on your research on this. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a biggie, though, because of what it's all about.
It's going to be an eye-opener for a lot of people. And you hit upon something on that message earlier. That is a certain amount of credence. We won't go into it right now, but that definitely has a bit of credence, Phil.
Yeah. It's the... Look at that hand, and this hand's getting up to all kinds underneath. It could be, it might not be, but it explains the figures a little bit more. But I guess we're talking too cryptic at this moment. We'll just have to hit him with it further down the road, mate. One last photo, mate, I'm going to show you. Remember the guy with Flavor Flav coming out the back of the hand?
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Look at him. My God! Now I hope he's not got rectum damage because he's doing that. I don't know what's going on there, but you know, I mean, look at him. Is he really in? Is that relative to his life? He can go out and do anything in the world. Is he? You know what I mean? He can go on the same holiday as I've just gone. He can meet the same people. He can go down the road and do all the same things.
And just live his life. Just enjoy his life.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, that to me that's the pinnacle of symbolism, is it not?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's coming from someone that can't aspire, and aspires the wrong choice of words, can't even ascertain what these people went through.
Yes.
You've got a gifted life, mate. You've got a privileged life. You've got a privileged life that much that you can actually get up and do what you're doing. So don't symbolize it. No one should symbolize that, to tell the truth.
That has gone on through all societies throughout mankind.
Yes.
If we all started to get the reparations thing for, I think everyone would be passing over money to all countries and all nations and wanting to do nasty things. And everyone would be kissing everyone's fucking shoes, Jason. That's unhygienic with COVID, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's social distancing. Unless you get a mask for your shoes, right?
Well, that's true. Well, that's true. You can get like shoe sock things going on now. But mate, any last words before we call this stream to an end? I've loved it, and it's pretty spontaneous, as you'll know yourself.
Just to tell the truth, apart from the technical hitch that we had earlier on, it's always a pleasure, my man. It really is, and I just love the way that we can take what's topical and dissect it and come away with. I mean, I don't think that we've been too derogatory on what's going on. It's only what we've seen, and we're elaborating on what we've seen. That's all. So for everybody watching and everybody in the comment section, we're not saying that we're above anybody or above the rest. It is only it's how we perceive it. It's how we see it. But what we try and do is keep things on a level peg and keep things, above board, and just let's talk about these things, because for damn sure, if we don't talk about it, it's still going to be there. But talking about it brings it to the fore, and hopefully, it can create change at the end of the day.
Well said, mate. We've got to end on that, because where do you go from there? Mate, it's always a pleasure to have you on. The way you can put your point across and your diligence in the background, collating all evidence and your research. I'm proud to say that I'm proud to be a friend of yours and a fellow member of the A-team as well. So I know you were pretty gutted that you missed out the last couple of streams that we were conducting because of whatever was going on. But that's fine, because there's going to be plenty of other chances to jump in the future. I'd like to thank... No problem, mate. I'm saying me on. I'd like to thank, obviously, Katie Swallow for allowing this stream to commence through multiple channels, mate. We've been streaming on 3 channels. They were streaming on mine. We're streaming on childrenmatter.news, and we're also on, it could be childrenmatter.news, but it's particularly on the VK platform, which I've never been on before. So no doubt
Russian platform.
Yes. Oh, shit. Look at this now. I better go and get me Hugo Boss t-shirt and put that on. And I'm like selling out to everyone here. But no, so we're getting the message across, and a big hello and thanks to all the guys out there who's been watching. Thanks to all the subbers. Great Britain, the star as ever. When everyone on this channel, as you know, mate, they're all the same in a sense that we all can see the confusion and the discombobulation on all sides here. And most of us on this channel and through the comment section just want to live the life and to be getting ideologically battered from one place to the next in such a rapid, aggressive fashion in the way it's been done over the past few years. All we're here for is that we can see it. We can see it on all sides. I'm not here as a white, black, Muslim supremacist. I'm here as a lover of everyone within them same different demographics we just spoke about, but don't stop me talking and ripping the shit out, the negative out of all of them as well. You can't do that, because we're not living in that world, or that, not my world anyway, mate. So that's me digressing as usual. But I love our chats, because we know we can go here, and I look forward to the next one, sir. That's pretty much all. You have a great evening and enjoy your work week.
Get back to your missus.
Get back to the missus. 204. She's going to kill me, mate. She's going to kill me. Black Lives Matter. Seriously, it's going to start in this house more than anything. I tell you. Cheers.
Bye, man.
See you later, pal.
Cheers.
Oh, what a guy. I love that guy's company and his words as well. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I love you all. Even the pissing haters.
I love you. 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 I love you.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love